everyone, it's Gojira Prime with another video, and today I just want to go over a news article that I found in regards to the upcoming Transformers 1 film. But first of all, I do have a Facebook page where I post images of the figures in my collection, any links to any videos I do, and anything else I find of interest. So if you do have the time, please do find the page, hit the like, hit subscribe, and do feel free to comment on anything I do post. So this article is from ScreenRant.com, and it's titled Chris Hemsworth upcoming Transformers movie role highlights a major Hollywood problem. So Chris Hemsworth is voicing an important character in the upcoming animated Transformers 1, replacing a veteran Transformers actor. Well, he's not voicing an important character, he's voicing the most important character, if truth be told. And I don't know who that image is behind him, but it's certainly not the character he's going to be voicing. So Chris Hemsworth replaces Peter Cullen as the voice of Optimus Prime in Transformers 1, indicating a casting issue in Hollywood. I don't know why that is. Transformers 1 features a star-studded cast including Brian Tyree Henry, Keegan-Michael Key, Scarlett Johansson, Jon Hamm, and Lawrence Fishburne. Hemsworth's casting is an attempt to add star power and attract more viewers to the declining Transformers franchise. I don't know if I agree with that last point that Transformers is declining. It does still have its core fan base, and I've been going to TF Nation for years now, and its predecessor Auto Assembly, and all I can say is that event gets bigger and bigger every single year, and more people are going to it. But let's have a look through the rest of the article. So Transformers 1, the first animated movie in the Transformers film series. That's not true. Transformers the movie was the first animated film, but I think it's probably just referring more in regard to the live action films, will be released in late 2024, and one of the main characters will sound a bit different than he did in previous project. Chris Hemsworth, known for his role as Thor, is set to lead the voice cast as one of the most iconic characters in the franchise. He is the most iconic character in the franchise, Optimus Prime. However, Hemsworth is replacing an actor who played the Autobot in question for almost 40 years, proving that Hollywood is developing a casting issue. Aside from Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, the rest of the entire cast of Transformers 1 includes Brian Henry as Megatron, Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee, Scarlett Johansson as Leader 1, Jon Hamm as Sentinel Prime, and Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion. Other characters will likely be revealed as the premiere date gets closer, but as of writing of this article, the animated feature film features a star-studded cast with multiple recognizable names. While at a first glance this is exciting, it just highlights one of the more recent problems with casting voice actors. I'm not sure I agree that it's a problem. I will agree that they're probably trying to bring some big names to the franchise to probably bring in new blood, especially when it comes to fandoms. But I don't know if it's a casting problem myself. Peter Cullen has been the voice of Optimus since his first appearance in 1984. Since then, Cullen has played the Autobot in several shows and films, including every movie in the Transformers film series. Cullen passes the baton to Chris Hemsworth for the 2024 animated movie Transformers 1. The Transformers film series hasn't been the same since Age of Extinction. Instead of only getting bigger and grossing more money at the worldwide box office, the franchise is in a downward spiral, with each new release performing worse than the last. So perhaps to rectify this issue, the producers wanted to add some star power to the series, which is why Hemsworth was chosen to voice Optimus Prime instead of Cullen. Now, just to go back to this point here, saying that each movie since Extinction has performed badly, I think there are reasons for this. Now, I've actually written down this because I was curious about what they meant by that. So, if you go back to the original Transformers film way back in 2007, that film cost $200 million to make and made $709 million. So it made back 3.5 times its original budget. Revenge of the Fallen cost $210, made $836 million, so it made almost 4 times its original budget. Dark of the Moon cost $195 million That's less than the previous two films, but made 1.1 billion. So it made over 4.5 times its original budget. The same is said for Extinction, and I hated Extinction. I absolutely hate that film. It made 210 million. It made 1.1 billion again. So it made over 4.5 times its original budget. Now, this is where things got really bad for the franchise. Night cost 260 million, so it was the most expensive of the Transformers films to date. It only made 605 million. Now, you may be saying, oh, 605 million, that's a lot of money. It's only 2.3 times its original budget. Now, from what I understand how things work in Hollywood, at least from the other films I've looked at when looking at these figures, a film has to make back at least 3 times its original budget. So if you make a film for 200 million, it's got to make over 600 million. If you make a film for 300 million, which some of these Hollywood blockbusters seem to cost these days, which is just a stupid amount of money, it's got to make nearly £1 billion back. Now, Bumblebee only cost 135 million to make. It was the cheapest out of all the Transformers films. It made 468 million pounds back. Now, that is less than the other films, but it still made 3.4 to 3.5 times more than its original budget. So it was a box office hit, where Night was a box office failure. But Rise of the Beasts, which is the most recent one, and I actually like Rise of the Beasts, I think it's a pretty good film actually. It cost 200 million to make at the box office, but only made 439 million pounds back. So it made only 2 times back its budget, which is why that film in Hollywood is actually considered a financial failure. Now, I think the reason that Rise of the Beasts failed a lot is probably more down to the fact that people are not going to cinemas like they used to. They are not pouring in to see these big budget films anymore in cinemas. They are instead hanging back and waiting until the films come out on a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon or Paramount. They're waiting for that because then they can watch the film in the comfort of their own home, and it costs a hell of a lot less to see. I think that's why Rise of the Beasts did as badly as it did. So, Transformers Optimus Prime recast shows how Hollywood overlooks voice actors. Hollywood probably does overlook voice actors. Even though Peter Cullen's voice is entirely recognizable as Optimus Prime due to his various Transformers roles over the year, Paramount is going with Chris Hemsworth for the upcoming movie. Unfortunately, this movie is just another example of Hollywood passing over talented voice actors in favor of hiring big stars for their films. Universal Pictures cast Chris Pratt as Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie, which, by the way, is an absolutely fantastic film. I absolutely love that film. I took my daughter to see it. She absolutely loves it as well. And because of that film, she's now a Nintendo addict, to say the least, especially when it comes to Mario Kart 8. Instead of getting one of the iconic voice actors from the video games to play the character, Pixar chose Chris Evans to replace Tim Allen. Well, Tim Allen's not a voice actor, though. Tim Allen is actually an actor, and that casting choice, well, to be honest, that entire film was a disaster from beginning to finish. Let's be brutally honest about that. Pixar chose Chris Evans to replace Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, and now Cullen is being pushed aside so that Hemsworth can voice Optimus Prime in Transformers 1. Well, I don't know about being pushed aside, to say the least. It is true, Peter Cullen is the definitive voice of Optimus Prime. He is for me, he is for most major Transformers fans in the world. Now, I will agree with this article that they are probably trying to bring some star appeal to the Transformers franchise, but that will be to bring in more casual or complete outsiders who have not previously been involved with Transformers. If you've been involved with Transformers for any length of time, Peter Cullen voicing Optimus Prime is an instant guaranteed draw for most people. In every single one of the Transformers films, no matter how bad they have been, i.e. The Last Knight or Age of Extinction, one thing you can always count on is that Peter Cullen delivers an incredible performance as Optimus Prime. Now, I'm not going to slate Chris Hemsworth for doing Optimus Prime, because this is a much younger version of Optimus Prime. This is not the Optimus Prime who has gone through the ringer of millions of years worth of warfare. So they're playing much younger characters. In fact, one of the casting choices for this film I'm really excited about is Lawrence Fishburne, because he's got an incredible voice. And I'm hoping he goes full Morpheus on this. I really, really am. So I am intrigued to see how Transformers 1 is going to go. I'm not going to boycott this film in any way, shape, or form because Chris Hemsworth is voicing Optimus Prime when other people have also voiced Optimus Prime over the years. I want to see his performance. I want to hear his performance. I want to see how he does in this role, and hopefully he will do a good job. At the end of the day, however, your Optimus Prime is your Optimus Prime, whether it be Peter Cullen, Gary Chalk, David Kane, or Neil Kaplan. Those are the four guys who have voiced Optimus Prime. You're going to have a favorite amongst those. Mine personally is Peter Cullen and will always be Peter Cullen. But I really do hope Chris Hemsworth does a very good job with this role. I don't think it's a case of Hollywood pushing out voice actors. I think it's a case of Hollywood desperately trying to get bums in seats to draw people in to go back to the cinema and watch their films. But anyway, that's my own personal view. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and go through the article with me. And please do hit the like button, hit subscribe, and do please comment. Thank you very much.